Hey, here's something I haven't done in a while, a Black Ops 4 gameplay commentary with some music in the background. I'm sure a lot of you guys are getting tired of this, and I'm sure a lot of you guys clicked on this and are now listening to me talk and maybe thinking gameplay with voice and music is getting old. I could go watch an entertaining YouTuber. Alright, now that we got rid of those guys, let's talk to the Call of Duty fans that watch my channel. I want to talk about my favorite part of Black Ops 4 currently, about 4 days after launch here. I love these maps, and it's not because they're good, and it's not because I don't get flanked on them constantly, and it's not because the spawns are great, and it's not because they're objectively good. It's because I find them to be interesting. Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, and Call of Duty World War II have some of the most boring, forgettable maps in all of Call of Duty history. Now, I can't tell you what maps I think are going to last in Black Ops 4 in terms of like, people are going to want them remastered, people are going to want to play them every day. I can't talk about any of that. But these maps have large starting areas, verticality, interesting routes for flanking or for pushing. The game isn't divided into 3 lanes where your flank route is also just one of the places you need to push anyway, otherwise you have to go straight down the middle, which is a death sentence. That was my problem through most of Black Ops 3's maps, COD World War II's maps, Infinite Warfare's maps, and even Black Ops 2's maps. But what I liked about Black Ops 2 is that Black Ops 2 had maps that were more competitive, they were more uniform, and then they had maps that were more messy. Maps like Standoff and Yemen and Drone and Turbine that played in an interesting way to me, at least. I'm not saying these maps are good. What I am saying is that these maps aren't boring. They're actually a little frustrating in some areas. You have to play them differently. If you're struggling on these maps, I really recommend that you readapt your playstyle to the map itself. Maybe you'll be better with a DMR or a sniper, an LMG. Maybe you'll be better with an SMG on one map where an SMG on the next map won't do as well. I like that. COD World War II did this to an extent with Gustav Cannon, Pointe du Hoc, and Sainte Marie du Mont. These maps, in my opinion, are head and shoulders above the rest because they're unique in their layouts. I'm not saying good, and honestly, Pointe du Hoc and Sainte Marie du Mont and Gustav Cannon have all given me really bad matches from time to time, but I like the fact that there's a couple maps in rotation that are larger or more messy or like weirdly cramped or have like weird trenches or strange flank routes. I like that because when you make my experience, okay, here's the thing. Call of Duty is about grinding for me. I love grinding Call of Duty. Call of Duty to me is not a competitive game. I mean, obviously I'm competing, but to me, I like to sit and grind it for hours. That's the way I like to play it. I also, of course, like that I can just boot it up and play a couple matches and be satisfied, but for the most part, I like a Call of Duty that I can grind. And if I'm grinding a Call of Duty, where the maps are all uniform, they force the same range of engagements, I can use whatever guns I want on any of them because they all basically are the same size. You know, you're not going to have any benefits from picking one class or the other. That gets so repetitive. Call of Duty is already pretty repetitive. I don't need my maps to follow suit. For instance, the map Militia in Black Ops 4 I think is really fun if you know how to play it. I think a more conservative, slow, methodical playstyle is better on this map, and thank God for it. Also, some of these maps have a couple of interactable environments. Nothing crazy. I'm mostly thinking of one of the maps allows you to raise and lower a catwalk bridge thing, and that's not really that interesting, but it's better than fucking nothing. There's a map that has these like air duct vents that you can hide in, and I think that's kind of cool. Again, the objective quality of these is, I don't know, that's above my pay grade, and your opinion on these, I don't know, that's way below my interest level. What I'm interested in is that these maps are not all the same. I can't play the same way on each one of these maps. I love that. I love that to death. Of course, there's some weapons and some setups that are going to be more versatile, and you can use them whenever. That's how every shooter works. You could give me the largest, most complicated, messy maps in Battlefield 3, and the M16A3 would still outshine most other weapons. We're talking about varying degrees of variety and intrigue, and again, I can't gauge yours, and I know it's not like a big deal. It's not a huge deal, but it means a lot to me as somebody that likes to grind Call of Duty. If my maps just feel like the same map with a different skin every time, I will get burned out on that Call of Duty much faster. I would rather have some interesting, messy maps that maybe even I don't like, but when they show up, I have to play differently on them. I at least like that. Even if I hate the map, I don't think Gustav Cannon in COD World War II is a great map. The reason I like Gustav Cannon is because it's not like the other maps. Either way, you can boil most FPS maps down to 3 lanes, and you can argue that they're all still 3 lane, but the variety in those lanes, and the little inner workings of the buildings, and the different rooms and underground areas and flank routes, and little ledges you can hop on top of, and vents you can hide inside of, and things you can open and close. I mean, I like that quite a bit. I wish these maps were more interactable and more dynamic, but I like the way they are. I am pleasantly surprised by them. And yeah, some areas feel like they were made for advanced movement, but I can totally overlook that because of whatever happens behind the scenes while the game is being developed, I don't know, I don't have any weight in that, and it doesn't affect the game for me. Let me know your favorite and least favorite maps in Black Ops 4. Do you hate the game? Do you hate the maps? Let me know what you think. I just want to share this because, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to tear into this game about some things I don't like, and I'd like to have a couple of positive videos, so I'm talking about the things I do like. And one of them is the maps, because of the variety between them, yada yada yada. See you when I see ya. Goodbye.